Well, let's go now to Atlanta, where officials at a Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport have confirmed that a passenger was able to take a Delta flight all the way to Tokyo while carrying a gun. The agency says the security breach happened just after New Year's, which is about 2 weeks into the partial government shutdown. Our correspondent Omar Jimenez is at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Omar, you know, obviously, I think the first thing that comes to mind, and people would point the finger at this partial government shutdown, you know, TSA not having enough employees. Is that to blame for this? How would this man even get through security with a gun that far?
Look, it's a great question, and of course, that is what people fear when you talk about this government shutdown and TSA screeners, some of the most vital people to our air safety, going without pay. Of course, they missed their first pay period last Friday, but at this point, only 2 weeks into the government shutdown. Now, the TSA says this had nothing to do with the shutdown, instead saying that there were standard procedures that were not followed. In fact, they said specifically that the perception that this might have occurred as a result of the partial government shutdown would be false. The national unscheduled absence rate of TSA staff on Thursday, January 3rd, 2019, was 4.8% compared to 6.3% last year. Now, nonetheless, it again highlights some of those fears that people have as this continues to stretch longer and longer. And to give you an idea, today specifically, the national rate of unscheduled absences that the TSA put out, 7.6%. And the reason that's significant is because the same day last year, that number was down around 3%. So again, as this continues to move forward and as these employees have more things that they have to deal with outside of the work environment, you can imagine that those fears will continue to percolate. And thankfully here, this was self-reported by the passenger and got that into the hands of people that needed to take care of it. But you know, you never know moving forward.
Yeah, almost really a more alarming if they're saying that, you know, they were fully staffed and things were up to speed and this man was able to get through with a gun at that sort. But Omar, you know, what about the security lines? We talked to the airport or had some feedback from them. Officials there saying Monday's busiest day for the Atlanta airport at least, and they're down a few lanes. Are you seeing the lanes moving?
Yeah, so right now the good news is the lines are moving. They really were moving throughout the morning. It's just things got so backed up in that morning rush once people were arriving. Now, you can see people are actually moving a lot more freely at this point, hours removed. But we walked all the way down the entire length of this line. And if you've ever been to Hartsfield-Jackson 1, you know it's busy. But we are here at the security checkpoint. We walked all the way to the baggage terminals, and the lines for pre-check and even for the normal line were weaving in and out of the baggage claim terminals, to give you an idea of how far back it actually was. And there were people that had waited an hour and a half just to get to this main entrance of the security, where they were going to have to wait another 30 minutes potentially. So a lot of people were worried that they were going to miss flights. A lot of people missed flights and are having to try and reschedule. And again, we got that word just within this hour that the airport says they were down lanes due to short staffing, and that in part led to the delays that we saw. You couple that with the Monday morning rush, and you end up with what the situation was this morning.
Wow. All right. Well, certainly testing a lot of patience there. Omar Jimenez, thank you so much.